How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody is doing well. I'm back in the garage working on the Pontiac Phoenix. I removed all the valves because I was going to replace the valve guide seals, and I noticed that all the valves were pretty nasty. I used a little bit of valve grinding compound, and they cleaned up pretty good in my opinion. There is no doubt that this cylinder head ought to be able to breathe a little bit better. I used a brand new set of cylinder head bolts. I torqued the head down to 90 foot-pounds, starting at 25 foot-pounds, then 45 foot-pounds, and then ending in 90. This push rod guides, they need to go back in their exact location. In fact, there's a number stamped on the side. So I'm in the process of putting together the Pontiac Phoenix, and I ordered a brand new water pump because if I'm going to be doing all this work, might as well do it right and replace, crucial parts like the water pump that's part of the cooling system. So this is the problem with some aftermarket parts. So this is the new pump, right? As you can tell, I had already installed it and I had to remove it. Luckily, I caught this in time. This is the original one. So the difference between this one and this one is the, what do you call this, impeller? Can't remember. Anyways, this are a little thicker, and they stick out a little bit further out than this one, and it's hard to tell by just looking at them. They look identical pretty much, right? So I installed it, bolted it on to the side of the I think this is called the water pump adapter because it's not part of the block. So I bolted it on to this, and it bolted on there just fine. But luckily, I was putting on the pulley, and as I was putting the pulley on, I tried to spin it. And it wouldn't move. These were pressing up against this right here, and it was locked. So I'm glad I caught that right away. I immediately removed it, and I started looking for the problem. I was wondering what happened, and I quickly realized that this was probably bottoming out, and so what I did, I sprayed it with black paint. I bolted the pump back on there, and then I spun it, and I waited to see, and then I removed it, and then I can see black paint right here, which is where it hit, and then that shiny part right there, which is where it scraped off the black paint. So I grabbed my grinder and shaved off a little bit of material right here. It's not gonna damage it, it's not gonna hurt it, it'll be fine. So I bolted the pump back on and spun it, and we are good. Looks like we're good to go. The only problem now is that I damaged the brand new gasket. I'm just waiting on a new gasket, and this is going back together. Everything is looking good. So yeah, sometimes that's the problem with aftermarket parts. They're not made perfect. You gotta be able to make them work. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes not so easy. So that's pretty much done. I can't test drive it because it has no plates. Also, it needs more work. There's a few things I need to address. The customer wants me to replace the door locks and the lock to the trunk. And also, it's got no turn signals. Yeah, just minor things.